So we're looking at News Nation, all things UFOs. I know there's been a lot of hearings recently in Congress. Obviously in the UK, we don't have any government interest in UAP, UFOs. So let's see what's being talked about now.
What if the Pentagon is using artificial intelligence to look through classified military servers and store thousands of images and videos of UFO encounters? Keeping it all a secret, by the way, from Congress and the American people. Well, a new whistleblower is alleging just that. Former U.S. National Security official Matthew Brown revealed his identity this week. He sat down for a wide-ranging interview with investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell on his Weaponized podcast. And we learned much more than Brown's name. We also learned new details about an alleged top-secret government program he calls Immaculate Constellation, or...
I must admit, okay, when the news dropped that there was a program called Immaculate Constellation, I, like probably everybody else, Googled it. And the weirdest thing that happened on Google happened when I Googled the term Immaculate Constellation. I got an error message that I've never seen before on Google. It wasn't just about, oh, your results haven't been found, like the generic sort of message you get. This was a completely separate screen where you had to click continue. And it was almost like Google were tracking the fact that I hit a keyword search that was in a list of, if anyone searches this, make sure you track them. I've never seen that screen before, never seen it since. All I did is Google Immaculate Constellation, and it came up with a weird screen. I wish I would have took a screenshot at the time, but I was convinced that after that there was something to it, because I've never seen that screen once, I've never seen it since. And obviously every time you Google Immaculate Constellation now, it comes up with News Nation and other results.
IMCON, for short. He claims he saw videos that range from 15 seconds long to 45 minutes long. Some you've likely already seen, like the famous Tic Tac video and the Gumball videos. Others, he said, however, are from UFO encounters we've never heard of before.
Nothing in those videos necessarily proves it's extraterrestrial or non-human. It certainly is anomalous, exotic, and unexplainable.
And advanced.
Yes.
Beyond.
See, I like that. I like he doesn't come out. He strikes me as a guy that is nervous about talking about these things, but he also comes out as, I don't know if they're aliens. I'm not just going to automatically say they're aliens or interdimensional. It's just, I think they're anomalous and very advanced, and I don't know if it's ours or not. So, I do like that. The approach is, I do not know what they are.
Our capabilities that you know of?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it might have been within our capabilities to replicate, even in an inferior manner.
Mm-hmm.
But quite a lot of it, is, it's either something else or we live in a world where we have been left behind.
Yeah, I mean, the scary prospect, obviously, is that foreign adversaries have the technology that can just basically wipe everything that we've got off the table. But then people say, oh, it's China or Russia, and you think, realistically, if they've got the technology, like Dave Fravor said, to basically hover at 80,000 feet and then just drop down to sea level, the blink of an eye, hang around for 3 hours, and then just disappear, I think we'd all be speaking Chinese or we'd all be speaking Russian, etc. So, I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of independent party, Bigelow Aerospace, I don't know. SpaceX? I don't think we'd be having giant rocket boosters if that was the case.
Joining us now is investigative journalist and co-host of the Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy, great to have you back to the show. So you've known Matthew Brown a long time. You actually even brought him into a secret meeting with members of Congress before IMCON was ever publicly revealed.
I like Jeremy Corbell, but man alive, he doesn't have sort of, what's the term? When somebody is dramatizing everything. No doubt he'll dramatize something in a minute, I guarantee you.
When did this all begin? How did you first meet him?
Yeah, this started a long time ago. As you know, like George Knapp and I, when we work on
bringing whistleblowers forward. First thing is protect them, even if they don't protect themselves, and get them heard through the proper channels. So Matthew Brown, you're right. I did bring him into multiple meetings with members before the word was ever uttered publicly. But the point of doing that was to get him vetted and heard so that he could testify to the American public, because that is ultimately what people want. They want to hear what's going on. And he discovered so many things that the public has yet to hear. And that's why we started releasing that testimony now, because he didn't end up testifying at the last hearing, if you recall.
Why didn't he?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Which is what she asked, so hopefully you're going to answer it. I just think the guy looks terrified. I don't think he wants to be speaking publicly about these things.
Last hearing was a little bit bizarre, and I'm really hoping this changes. I know that Representative Luna and Burchett and Burleson, they're working really hard to make sure you hear from firsthand direct whistleblowers this time. I mean, you ask, like, why didn't he last time? He's been willing, as an American patriot, to come forward and put it all on the line. This is not something that is taken lightly. When you come forward and you expose a program like Immaculate Constellation, which, by the way, for our audience, just to be very clear, it was an intelligence and reconnaissance unacknowledged special access program that focused on collecting footage of UAP and reproduction vehicles from diverse, weaponized, and militarized observation platforms. What that
Yeah, so basically it was just an information collection program. The term first-hand witness, I'm not sure Matt Brown could be discussed in this. I think he came across these documents by accident. It's not like it was part of his remit to collate the information. I think he came across it and thought, this is all strange. But a first-hand witness, for me, you never see any doctors, or, I mean, when I said doctors, I mean anybody who's, like a PhD in physics, chemistry, who's worked on back engineering programs coming out. It's always been military personnel that might have seen something, or people who were briefed on certain things, or someone overheard a conversation, or someone came across a document. I'd love to see like a Brent Spinner character, like from Independence Day. He's been down in the bunker for about 10, 15 years working on these back engineer programs. You never seen any of that, though. You never get any of those witnesses coming forward, unfortunately.
What that means is it's collecting from all our different...
And maybe that's because nothing exists, so you're not going to get people coming forward for something that doesn't exist.
Different assets and bringing them in and culling them in for our government to look at, but secretly and behind Congress's back.
Okay, but you mentioned that the congressmen only want people with direct and firsthand knowledge to be testifying. Does Matthew Brown have direct and firsthand knowledge?
Absolutely. There's different levels of direct and firsthand knowledge. When you discover through accidental exposure an unacknowledged special access program, you try to alert all of your higher command on what's going on, and it falls on deaf ears. When you've gone to Congress, when you've gone into these doors and given testimony and the American public hasn't heard about it yet, it's time to do something. So that's why Matthew Brown is really, he's a courageous person, and I think the public needs to protect and support him.
But the point is,
I don't think the public can do anything. I think the general public have got no idea about the UAP issue at large. I think a very niche set of people that like the UAP subject and follow the UAP subject. I think it's probably got larger since conversations have come out. But if you said to people tomorrow, like an alien of, like, UFOs landed on the White House lawn or something, I think most people wake up the next day and just continue to go to work and pay bills, etc. I don't think this is still in the forefront of the general public. I think the general public don't care, if I'm honest, which is a shame, because it might change the reality of our existence. But who knows?
because I remember interviewing David Grush when he first came out with his story. And there was a lot of question about, with David Grush, what did you exactly see, or what were you told was going on? Matthew Brown has direct firsthand knowledge that this program, IMCON, Immaculate Constellation, is actually happening. He's seen it with his own eyes.
Yes, and even more than that, we are talking thousands of videos and photos, but a lot of videos that the American public hasn't seen of these advanced craft we call UAP that are of unknown origin. So when you've seen those on the inside on classified servers, and you are now testifying under oath, by the way, sometimes when you're going into Congress, that is a big deal. That is firsthand knowledge of a cover-up of the UFO phenomenon to the American public.
Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of those videos could be special access programs, i.e., they could be secret craft that the US government has developed out of Area 51, Nellis Air Force Base, or others that we don't know about. It could be that they've monitored and picked up drones from adversaries, but they don't want to go out there and say, we know what you've got because we've seen it, and we've got these sensor systems that could pick up your, what you think is stealth technology, but it's not because we can see it. So I can understand in that respect that you keep that secret as well. You won't come out and say, oh, look at all this that we can see and all this that we've got. So there are reasons why you might want to keep all this secret, to be honest.
Interesting, in the clip that we just played, Matthew Brown doesn't come out and say, oh, this is definitely extraterrestrial. He's like, nothing that I know of can do this. He is what I would call responsibly careful in how he characterizes the videos that he has seen. Do you know how many of these videos, when we look at the Tic Tac video, for example, it's easy, because it's a thermal imaging, it's hard to really discern what you're seeing. Do you have any sense of what this Immaculate Constellation program video archive contains and how unusual or explicit these videos are in terms of showing things that are just not humanly possible right now?
Yeah.
The problem is we don't know what's humanly possible. I remember was it the F-117 stealth fighter that was in operation during the Gulf War? And I think it was actually in operation for like 10 years before anyone had even seen it. And I remember the first time I ever saw the video of that thing flying, and I thought, wow, I've never seen anything like it. So you can imagine that the technology is about 10, 15 years ahead of what we see now. I mean, whenever they say, oh, look at this new drone that we've got, that's probably been flying around for 10 years. So to say, oh, wait, there's nothing that we're capable of, to be honest, we don't really know what's currently in the public domain. What's in the private domain in terms of technology. But there's certain things like Dave Fravor and some of the other witnesses out there where they're saying something can accelerate at the drop of the button, go up to 80,000 feet in mere seconds, do 90-degree turns, the drop of a hat, and it's like difficult to understand that our technology has leaped ahead so far. So it's strange. I'll give you that. We just don't know, do we?
So that is an intense question, because I'll tell you this, when I come and I bring more people forward with George now, because we have already recorded with other firsthand whistleblowers that we have yet to release. So I can promise you, people are coming forward, an army of people are coming forward. But the thing is, when you're talking about this footage, what you're seeing there, we need to become educated on. These are weapons platforms. It's better than an iPhone. What you're seeing in these videos, and remember, last week, George and I released a new Tic Tac UFO video to the world that was military filmed. So this is getting out. What you're seeing are craft of unknown origin with advanced capability far beyond anything that we know humanity can make. Matthew is really smart with the way that he presents his words. When we don't know something, we don't know something. But that has always been the issue here. If it is not ours, if it is not China's, and it is not Russia's, how can it do what it's doing in all of these videos that we've accumulated? But our government is well aware. They've been reverse engineering it. That's why they call.
He was doing well until they've been reverse engineering it. How does he know? I mean, he might have a whistleblower that says we've been reverse engineering these things. But to be fair, all we get is talking head after talking head after talking head. These things are happening. The government's got the bodies from Roswell. They've got the downcraft. We're reverse engineering these things for years. There's werewolves at Skinwalker Ranch. There's gold on Oak Island. All these things. Again, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? But to say the reverse engineering is almost saying we don't know what these things are. I'll hold my hands up. We don't know what these things are. But they're definitely alien because we're reverse engineering these things. So you can't have one without the other, really. I mean, you can't have both. You can't say we definitely don't know what these things are, but then say, but the government definitely knows what these things are because of reverse engineering. Unless you've got the physical proof to that, we don't. We just have people talking. Not a statement I would have made.
Non-human intelligence, because we know they're not ours. We know they're not from a terrestrial nation that we are aware of.
How does he know? If he says we don't know what these things are, how does he know that they're non-human intelligence?
We'll be seeing Matthew Brown testify soon.
You know, it's a great question. Wouldn't you love to see him testify?
That's not a yes or a no, though.
I certainly would. But there's a number of other people that, again, we've recorded with, me and George Knapp, we have, and they're going to be coming out. So fingers crossed, this next hearing, we have an opportunity. And
I'd take that as a no then, because I think Matthew Brown probably would have said, yes, I'll testify. And Jeremy probably would have said, yes, he's going to testify. The fact that he's not means all he's done is brought and said, there's a program called Immaculate Constellation. It was this, it was this. I don't think he could probably bring anything more to the table other than what he's already said. Saying it in an official capacity would probably bring some weight to it. But again, is he going to further the conversation or move the needle closer to disclosure? I don't know.
Congress is listening. They're watching this interview with Matthew Brown as it comes out. Next part is next week. They're watching. So we have an opportunity, and I hope we take it.
All right, Jeremy Corbell, great to have you on again. Thanks so much. Keep us posted.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Appreciate you covering it.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on the entire topic because I've been interested in the UFO topic, UAP as it's called now, since X-Files back in the 90s. For 30 years, I've always been looking at the skies and wondering, is there anything out there? But all we get year after year is just another whistleblower, is person talking. We don't no physical proof. We don't have materials. We don't have bodies. We don't have scientists coming out saying I've worked on these things and here's my credentials. And if you do, you kind of go, well, again, where's the evidence to this kind of thing? I'm hoping that this year will be slightly different. You know, the government pushing for, the US government that is, pushing for declassification and more exposure and the classified special access programs. But to be fair, if you've got a secret organisation in there or a secret government who are hiding these things, they'll just basically say it's not there, go and prove it. And how can you prove something that you don't know exists? So who knows? But yeah, keep one eye on the hearings and see what's going on next. Thanks. Let me know what you think. Is it real or is it all hogwash? Or is there something in the middle? Could it be that we do have these technologies, but they're ours, and that's a equally threatening thought? So see you on the next one.